What's up, guys? Welcome back to ManCave Collectibles. Coming at you today with another comic book and toy haul. It's been a couple weeks since we did this, so we got a lot of catching up to do. We got a lot of boxes to open. Got a lot of things that we found out on some toy hunts, as well as things that's come in from places like Big Bad Toy Store. Head over to Big Bad Toy Store for all your toy needs, whether it's Hasbro, Mafex, Hot Toys, and all the other major brands. They've got it along with $4 flat rate shipping. Click the link in the description to see what BBTS can do to fill that need you have in your collection. Check out my link in the description for your toy needs to pick up those items you want at Big Bad Toy Store. Also, by clicking that link, you do help the channel out as well. Let's jump right into our comic book haul first. So we've got and again, it's been a couple weeks since I did one of these, so a lot of these comic books are not brand new. They've been out for a couple weeks, and I just kind of went and picked them up here recently. So we got the Wolverine black, white, and blood here. This is one that I've enjoyed. It's kind of the short stories. Kind of reminds me of like the Batman black and white. I don't know if I'm going to continue getting these. Right now I'm a little bit burnt out on the comic book game. I think the spec market has almost spec'd me out of comic books. Even a lot of the new stuff I'm just not that interested in right now. There's a couple books that are really, really hot and I really, really like them. We'll talk about them here in just a second. So I don't know that I'm going to continue this one. I may go ahead and remove it from my pull list. Next up, we got the Wolverine mainline number 9. This is another one that I've been reading up to this point. I'm just not getting a whole lot out of it. Let me know what you guys think of the Wolverine main storyline, if this is something you read. Where do you think it's going? Do you think it's going to improve or get more exciting? Just let me know what your thoughts are on it. Now we'll jump in to one of the comic book titles that I am very excited about, and that's the new crossover series. This one I've actually added to my pull list recently, so I'm really, really excited about this one. I think we've got a new one coming out this week on Wednesday, number 4. This one here is just the regular cover A, number 3. I did enjoy this comic book, and that's kind of the reason I like where the storyline's going. I'm kind of hoping we get some additional kind of guest appearances in the story. There was a guest appearance kind of toward the end of this story. I'm not going to say what that is at this point. It shouldn't spoil it. You should have already read this by now, but I'm not going to say it. But definitely check out Crossover if you're not already reading this title. We've also had issue 1 of The Last Ronin, the second print, come out recently. I did go ahead and pick up a second print. I'm probably going to pick up all the prints of number 1, however many that ends up going, whether it's 3, 4, 5, however many prints number 1 gets, I'll probably get them all. But also the number 2 come out, and this one was fantastic. It is unfortunate that my favorite turtle in this one didn't have his best day. So I'm not going to say who that is or what that was. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's still kind of waiting to get their hands on it and read this story. But this is my favorite comic book title, period, right now, especially as far as modern comics go. So if you're not reading The Last Ronin, go ahead and get out there and check this comic book out. You can get it on Comixology or, something like that if you're not able to get your hands on an actual hard copy of it. But this is a fantastic story. If you're not familiar with it at all, it is kind of a future story of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Kind of reminds me of like Batman The Dark Knight type of storyline. A very dark Manhattan compared to kind of what we're used to seeing in, with what we grew up watching in the cartoons, that type of thing. Even as far as from a comic book standpoint, it definitely takes a little bit darker turn than we're used to. So definitely check this one out. This is my favorite book. This is my must pick up if you're a comic book reader. Okay, guys, so I want to talk about some loose figures that you can see I have here. These are figures that I've done reviews on or picked up and I may not be doing a review on. So we'll start here with our Street Shark Ripster. So I picked this guy up the other day. I'm a huge Street Sharks fan. This kind of got me in the mood to go ahead and start picking up some additional Street Sharks as well as some Extreme Dinosaurs. If you don't remember Extreme Dinosaurs, go Google it, check those guys out. They're fantastic, really retro toys that are out there, but the Street Sharks were awesome. There's 4 main Street Sharks. I'm going to try to go ahead and pick them up. This guy's in pretty decent shape. It's not great shape. He's got a lot of paint flaws and some different things going on his paint. But overall, he was pretty good. I got him for a really great price, so I was happy to get my hands on him. This is the first Street Shark figure that I've owned since I was a kid. So it was just good to be able to throw him into the collection. Next up, we're going to talk about these 4 guys. Now, there's reviews out there on all 4 of these. Right here, we've got our Superman Mafex figure. I picked this guy up from Big Bad Toy Store, and this is the best Superman figure, in my opinion, that has ever been put out. It is by far the best Superman figure in my collection. I've got a lot of DC Direct, I've had McFarlane, the DC Essentials. I've had a lot of Superman figures in my collecting lifetime, but the Mafex Hush Superman is my favorite. It was so good that I went ahead and I ordered the Batman Mafex figure, Hush version as well, to go alongside this guy. But it just kind of reminded me of what great figures Mafex is making now, and just how much improvements they've done kind of over time. We've got bendy wire cape, you've got multiple hands, multiple heads. Go check out my review for this guy if you haven't seen it already. Next up, guys, we've got the brand new Macho Man Ultimates figure. Another one that I was super excited to get. If you've been keeping up with my channel, I've kind of gotten into the wrestling world of action figures, and I'm wanting to really focus on the Ultimates line, the Ultimate Editions that Mattel puts out. This is a great figure. Check out my review on this guy. I just put it out a couple days ago. All right, guys, and then probably my favorite Undertaker figure to this point that I have reviewed or looked at or have really found out, for my collection at all. But this is the Undertaker Legends figure. He does come with a jacket, a soft goods jacket. He's got his hat here. He's got the mask that he wore when he injured his eye and kind of used it to protect his face some. There is a review on this guy as well, but just a fantastic figure here. He's got that purple and black. Definitely takes you back to that 90s nostalgia Undertaker. And then last but not least, we've got the new Thanos figure. So this is a very comic book-esque Thanos. I think it's the best Thanos that's ever been put out. We get the snapping finger here. You get multiple hands. You actually get the King Thanos head as well, which, if you've been reading the comic books, that's kind of like old man Thanos is kind of the way you can think about him. But just a really great figure. Got a review on this. Go check that out if you haven't already. Okay, guys, so we're going to go ahead and jump into things that I found on my toy hunts here recently. I'm always excited about toy hunts. I'm always trying to get out and get toy hunts in. So at a local comic book shop here, Back in Time Collectibles, one of my favorite local shops, we were able to pick up two retro carded, this was Triceraton Infantryman and the Casey Jones. These were two of my favorite characters from the Playmates line on card, unpunched. So super excited to have these. And, I've got a Raphael original on card up there on my wall that is unpunched as well. And for the most part, I really don't do a lot of collecting in package, but I think looking back at these Playmates toys, these were so meaningful and so nostalgic to me. I think this is something I would like to get into, but just collecting the main characters that I loved as a kid, the ones that I just wore the paint off of, played with every chance I got. And these were two of them. So we picked these up. Let me know what you think of these. Do you collect the TMNT Playmates figures from the 90s? Drop that down in the comments below. Okay, guys. A couple others here. We've got Elite Collection figures. So we've got our Undertaker Elite Collection as well as our $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. There will be reviews coming for these on the channel here very soon. But just another Undertaker, as he was one of my favorite characters from my childhood. And then $1 Million Man, he wasn't so much a favorite character, but he was during that time that I was a kid and just loving wrestling and playing all the video games, that type of thing. So when I seen him, I had to go ahead and pick him up. So you saw that we had the Macho Man. We also went ahead and picked up the Edge Ultimates figure at the same time. We're going to have a review coming out on this guy. Super excited about it. As I said before, I'm going to be collecting all the Ultimates figures. So if you haven't seen that Macho Man and this Edge, go check them out. Go check out a review. Check out my review on Macho Man. Or if you want to be patient, my review on Edge will be coming as well. Just a really cool line of figures in these Ultimates. They're a little more than your Elite figures, but you get more than the Elite figures give you. We've got our Pac figure, we've got our Orange Cassidy, and then we've got our Young Bucks. We got Nick and Matt Jackson. These are from the AEW line. So kind of a story to teach patience. I picked these guys up at a local toy store and ended up paying a little bit of the secondary market premium. Not too bad, the toy store was very fair, but I ended up paying about $30 a piece on them. About a week later, one of you guys hit me up in the comments. So shout out to you know who you are. You hit me up. You saw these at a Walmart near me. I ran over to Walmart and picked up 2 more at retail. So had I been patient, I wouldn't have had to pay the secondary market premium. So that can be a lesson for all of us. Don't give up on retail too early, because they're always restocking. You know, your Walmarts, your Targets, they're always going out and restocking those figures. So certainly be patient. The AEW figures are out there. I know they're super hot right now. Probably the hottest figures or the hardest figures to find of near about anything. Sometimes I feel like I can find NECA easier than I can find AEW at this point. But we picked these 4 figures up over the last couple of weeks. Really, really happy to have them. If you're an AEW fan, you want to go out and check these guys out. We're going to try to get some reviews up with some of these AEW figures. I don't know that I'll get them all, but probably some of my favorite characters. We will go ahead and get that up on the channel. Okay, guys, we're going to jump into opening some boxes. We got about 9 boxes to open, so we're going to run through these pretty quickly. All right, guys, so here we go. Whoever I purchased this from gave me a fortune cookie. So that's new. I haven't really ever seen that in one of my purchases, but it is what it is. So thank you for the fortune cookie. And we got another AEW figure. So this is probably my favorite figure in the AEW line so far. This is the Darby Allin figure. You know, if you have been searching or hunting for Darby, you know there's a nice little premium to try to pick him up online. I got a pretty good deal on him. I was very happy with it. Here he is. We got Darby and we got a fortune cookie. All right, guys, a guy can't send you a fortune cookie and you just throw it to the side. So we're going to go ahead and open this fortune cookie as part of our toy hunt. We're going to see what ManCave Collectibles fortune is. ManCave Collectibles fortune is: you have the ability to undertake and complete anything you desire. All right, guys, after that inspirational moment, let's jump on into the next priority mailbox here and see what we got. A lot of these boxes, I don't actually remember what's in each of them because they have been sitting around kind of over the course of a couple weeks now. So just jump into them and it'll be a surprise to you and me both. All right, guys, so we're pretty wrestling heavy, but we got something very special here. We have got the Bret the Hitman Hart Ultimate Edition action figure from Mattel. So this is one I was super excited about. A couple of you guys recommended him to me in the comments. I went out and checked him out. Had to pick him up. Bret Hart was probably one of my brother's favorite guys, but just being such an iconic character in the wrestling world, you got to have him on your shelf. Plus, he's in the Ultimates line, which is what I'm collecting. So yeah, thank you guys for the recommendation on Bret the Hitman Hart Ultimate. Continuing on. All right, guys, so I picked these up off Instagram. I'll try to drop something here on the screen to the guy on Instagram that I picked these up from, but these are some flight stands, and I've seen a lot of guys using these, or at least these styles, you know, guys, bigger channels like Jay Hernandez, one of my favorite channels out there to watch, and does some fantastic reviews. Really puts a lot of time and effort into them. So check out Jay Hernandez if you haven't already. But I see him using these style flight stands a lot, and I really like these. And I'll try to throw up an image here on the screen so you guys can kind of see what this looks like with a figure on them. But, you know, instead of having your traditional, you know, kind of wraparound hooks, you know, you can kind of, you know, port these into the articulated areas of the figure. And they're just not so big and bulky as what we're used to seeing with most flight stands or posing stands. So I thought these were really cool. Picked them up on Instagram. I think they were $30. So just really happy to have these to kind of add into my collection and get rid of some of those big bulky flight stands that we deal with. Continuing on. All right, guys, here we go. We got some pretty cool figures here. We've got the Kane figure, but this is actually the Undertaker dressed up as Kane figure. So I thought this was really cool. I'm probably going to use this one as my actual Kane figure because I really like the suit, that classic suit that he's wearing in this one. So that'll be probably my Kane for my shelf. And then we've got the Charlotte Ultimate, which Charlotte's a must-have. She's a legend as far as female wrestlers go. We've got Roman Reigns, who is the man right now, obviously, and Drew McIntyre, who is the man right now, who lost his belt here recently at the Chamber match. So I'm sure he'll be on the hunt to try to get it back from The Miz. But these are brand new. As we said earlier, lots of wrestling figures coming in. We got some other stuff over here. We're going to get out of wrestling eventually, but got a lot of wrestling figures coming in, but I think they're all really, really solid pickups. Let me know what you think. Or you guys, do I have a lot of wrestling action figure fans out there in my viewers? Let me know. Really happy to have these as part of the collection. All right, moving on to the next box. All right, guys, so this is pretty cool here. If you go back and watch my Shredder, Super7 Shredder Ultimates review, my Shredder had a pretty jacked up arm claw on his armor. One of the claws basically just stuck almost straight out to the side. So I hit up Big Bad Toy Store, and as always, they were very willing to take care of me and help me out with that. So they wanted to go ahead and send me a replacement for my Shredder. And here he is. If we can get him out, they did a good job of kind of wrapping him up. All right, guys, so here's our Shredder in much better condition. We don't have the issue we had there on the arm armor where the blade is kind of sticking out to the side. So big shout out to Big Bad Toy Store for really taking care of their customers. And again, guys, check out the link in my description for Big Bad Toy Store. If you got, if you're just looking, if you're browsing, if you got something you want to pick up, certainly go use that link. It also will help out the channel by you using that link for your toy needs. All right, we're moving on to the next box. Let's see what we got here. I kind of remember what this one here is. This is one I have not really seen many people having their hands on yet. But it is the Cobra Fang for the 3.75-inch G.I. Joe line, the retro figures. So this is the helicopter. We have done a review on the Hiss tank, the Striker vehicle. So this is the third vehicle in the retro line, the Cobra Fang. I thought it looked really cool. It comes with the pilot, the Cobra pilot. So we will get a review out on this one here pretty soon. Let me know what you guys think of this. Do I have many G.I. Joe retro figure collectors out there? I'm not the biggest fan of like 3.75 inch. To me, they struggle as far as their shelf presence. But I do have everything up until the most recent wave. I still got to pick up a couple guys like Duke and Cobra. But I went ahead and we got the Fang in. So this was pretty cool. Again, be on the lookout for that review. Okay, so a little something different here, guys. This should have went maybe in the comic book section of our haul. But this is the new graphic novel, Noctera. This is Scott Snyder and Tony Daniel. This was it was actually a Kickstarter is what this was. And I went out and supported it. I'm a big fan of Scott Snyder. So this is Noctera. I have it still in the plastic wrapping here. We're not going to take it out right now. But I will try to get a review up of this. I haven't done an omnibus or a comic book review on anything in a while, so it's about time we get one in. So we'll get this up, let you guys know kind of what this is about. I personally don't really know what this is about. I just saw that it was Scott Snyder. I like to go out and show my support to different Kickstarter things when I can. This was one I felt kind of the need to do that. So if you've read this or if you picked it up, let me know what you think in the comments below. If not, we'll try to get a review out at a later date. On to the next box. All right, guys, so we got what I think is very disappointing, and to be honest, I question it in a big way. I sent off a Last Ronin number 1 in 10 variant to CGC for grading, and you can see what we got here. We got a 9.6, which is probably the most disappointing grade of all grades. It, to me, is a 9.6. When I send things off to CGC, and I do periodically, I don't cover it a lot on the channel because my channel doesn't really focus on comic books so much, so I don't do a lot of CGC stuff on the channel, but I sent off a 1 in 10. I inspected this thing prior to sending it off. I'm still looking at it here, and it is flawless. So I actually need to go and check the grader's notes on this. I did know this was a 9.6 before it got delivered. So yeah, I don't know what it is. Like I said, I checked this thing up and down, inside and out. I actually have 2 copies of the 1 in 10. And if you guys are, collecting the Last Ronin, you know that this book is really made to be a 9.8. It's got that real nice, almost like cardstock cover on it. So it's going to be very hard to damage it or bend it. So they, for the most part, straight from the comic book stores, they came in what I would consider probably 9.8s. And this one was flawless. And like I said, I've been collecting comic books for a long time. I typically know when I send something out, I can get within 2 to 4 points for the most part when I send something out. If I send something out and it's an 8, I'm normally somewhere in the ballpark of an 8 when I'm doing my grade. So my head, I'm like, well, this is going to be between a 7.5 and an 8.5. I'm always in that range. This one, I was 100% sure was going to be a 9.8. Got a 9.6 on it. So CGC, I don't know what's going on with that. But here it is, Last Ronin 9.6. We'll keep it in the collection. All right, guys, the last box of the evening. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. All right, guys, a couple really cool pickups. The Marvel Select Carnage and Marvel Select Venom. These are 2 phenomenal looking figures. Now, I collect Marvel Legends. We're going to throw these up in the Marvel Legends shelf and see how they look. They may not end up on my Marvel Legends shelves. They may end up kind of off to themselves. And if they do, I'll probably pick up the Marvel Select Spider-Man and just kind of have these 3 as they're kind of 3 of my favorite characters from the Spider-Man universe. But if I put them on my Marvel Legends shelf and they look good, they may replace the Carnage and Venom that I currently have. So we'll see. We'll see how they look. Either way, they're staying in the collection. The debate is just, where do I display them? But anyways, let me know. Do you have these guys? Do you guys collect Marvel Selects? I've done very little on my channel with Marvel Selects. I used to have a very large Marvel Select collection. In fact, that was the first figures that I started picking up as an adult collector. So I had stuff from my childhood, but from an adult collector standpoint, I kind of went on a collecting hiatus, I guess you could say, in my early 20s. And around my mid-20s, I jumped back into collecting very hard. And Marvel Select is where I started. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think of anything we picked up this week. Drop those comments down below. Let me know what you guys have picked up. If you picked up some of these figures or some of these comic books, let me know what you think of them. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. That helps the video from an analytics standpoint get out there for other people to be able to see. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to the channel. Would love to have you as part of the ManCave Collectibles team. We're well on our way to 4,000. At 4,500, we're going to do some type of giveaway. I don't know what all that's going to encompass right now, but it's probably going to have to do with follow me on Instagram and follow me on YouTube, as well as probably making a comment on a specific video. So be on the lookout for that. I do know one thing we're going to be giving away will be a Brock Lesnar Ultimate Edition figure, like a dummy. I ordered 2 on accident. One of you guys will benefit from that stupidity. Also, as I said before, a lot of what you see in this video or things very close to it, you can pick up from Big Bad Toy Store. I've got a link in my description. Click that link when you go to search, see what Big Bad Toy Store has out there. It'll help the channel as well as it'll help you. Big Bad Toy Store offers $4 flat rate shipping, which is hard to beat. I've had boxes come in that are bigger than this entire table, and I paid $4 for shipping. Can't beat that in this world and the way postage is today. Again, drop those comments down below. I love to hear from you guys. If you missed our live stream from Monday night, go check that out on Zach Jack Dan on YouTube. That's a friend of mine. We did our first live stream. It was a lot of fun. We had a good handful of you guys in that live stream, and we just talked toys for 2 hours. It was a fantastic time. So if you did join us, thank you so much for joining in on that. If not, check us out next time. We will be doing it again. We had such a great time, and it was just cool having that live interaction with you guys. I hope everybody has a good rest of your day. Until next time.